This is the 2021 candidate for governor of Virginia. My name is Merle Rutledge, and I have a special 2A message I have to give out here, especially for domestic violence victims and for all people here in this great commonwealth that is worried about the right to defend yourself from monsters. Recently, I got some bad news and found out a good friend of mine was murdered in cold blood, and also her daughter. And it was done by her boyfriend. And that boyfriend was armed and went on a shooting rampage. Now, he's locked up, but what's left behind is a funeral and a lot of family members who are now trying to come to grips with what has all happened and what has transpired. I'm telling every single Virginia, all across this great commonwealth, and all of those who have been victims of domestic violence, and even if you haven't been a victim, doesn't mean that you're immune to whoever you may meet and find out they ain't the person which they claim to be. I believe in the right to defend yourself from all enemies, foreign or domestic. I know here in Virginia we've been living with a whole lot of liberal democratic rules where it has made it a nightmare for law abiding gun owners and those who defend themselves from attack. And if a fatality was to occur, it is the victim being charged with murder, while the person who caused the chain of events is then considered a victim, even though they was the ones who was the catalyst of the actions that led to their death. I have no time for games anymore. I am encouraging all women, no matter who you are, you should always have a firearm in your house just in case, especially if you have loved ones and family members and children that live with you. Because whether it is your ex-boyfriend or whether it is a stranger looking to break into your house, you need to be ready to defend yourself and not hesitate to take out that intruder or take out the attacker and make sure they cannot harm you and your family ever again. I know life is not fair here in Virginia when it comes down to protecting your right to defend yourself. We know that the prisons are filled with people who was fighting against the attacker and they so happen to get the upper hand. They're able to live, but they are living in a prison instead of home with their families. I know that. I'm not a politician. That's why I have already made plans to make sure victims of domestic violence who killed their attacker will be able to go home. That's a guarantee. I have no kind of political correctness in me. I'm about doing the right thing. And I want women, especially those who are being abused and attacked, I am encouraging you, and I will have your back if you have to use a firearm to defend yourself and your family, or if death results because you won the fight against a coward. And that's why I call them that tried to prey and victimize, intimidate, harass, or brutalize you in any kind of fashion that they deem fit. We don't play that here in Virginia, not anymore. That's why I'm going to correct the past. I'm going to make sure your family could come back home if they was being attacked and they killed their attacker. I don't have time for apples to oranges when it comes down to that. Yes, I believe in hand-to-hand combat at all time frames first. And I also believe in the fact that if I pull out my gun, I plan to use it and I won't hesitate to take you out. I know that. That's part of what comes with me being me. But the fact is, we need more people out there ready, locked and loaded, and know that as you try to attack them or their family, they will take you out. We cannot have a measuring stick of when we decide to do so. That's why I plan on making sure that citizens get the same discretion as police when it comes down to split second decisions where your life is on the line and you're being attacked and you do what you have to do to stop that attack. I will have your back. Now, there's nothing we can do about what has happened. Too bad too many people are gone, because of the hands of monsters, and our prisons are filled with them. And too often, the murderer is still alive and the victims is dead. In the past 4 days, 3 different mothers with children, just in Hampton Roads alone, where they was either killed or shot, and they're still trying to recover in the hospital. And they all was attacked against their spouse or their partner. We cannot afford, nor can you or your family afford, for you to be not prepared when a monster comes knocking at your door. And we cannot put handcuffs on you and tell you to retreat into a bathroom, lock the door before you could come out and defend yourself and your family. That's why I believe in the castle doctrine and making sure you take out those monsters as soon as they break into your door. And soon as you tell them to get off your property and they decide to stick around, you could go ahead and let off a couple of rounds right in their ass. We will not have Virginia being a sanctuary for criminals to prey on law-abiding citizens as they deem fit. I plan to be an advocate for all of you. And for women, especially women, we need more law-abiding gun owners within your ranks. Because if you are expecting the police to get there on time, if something happens, ask all the different women who have died or those who are living. Could they afford for the police to get there? Or would they have lost their life if they did not act? And I am going to have your back. And that's why I plan on making sure we correct the past. I'm doing something about the present right now by speaking up. And we are going to have a better future. But the day of people telling you stay away from guns and all this other stuff, no. I want you to make sure when you look at your family, when you look at yourself in the mirror, your life is just as important as that criminal. Do not discount it and give out any kind of leeway to have anybody say that you are going to be their victim. I'm telling all people all across Virginia, crime goes down when gun sales go up. And when people know that you won't hesitate to take them off this earth and let God sort them out. Because I do not want to keep reading or finding out and getting woke up about another person being killed by their boyfriend, their ex, their spouse or partner, and finding out that person has been beating on them and putting that person and their children in constant peril. It's time for us all, whether it's public officials or whether it's you being a private citizen eating at your dinner table, you gotta have that tough talk with yourself as well as with your family, and make sure if they are faced with this type of situation, let them know Merle Rutledge has our back, and he says for us to shoot first, ask questions later. We are going to defend not only your Second Amendment rights, but we are going to start defending the heroes that defend their life as well as their family. I'm sorry about the mess that the past has done, but we don't have to live in the past. It's time for us to fight for our future. Your life matters. My name is Merle Rutledge. I'm running for governor of Virginia. God bless you, and God bless America.